Hello there, this is the Docker course of CodeMaven, and in this video we are going to learn how to create an image from the container. So remember, we can download an image from the Docker Hub, and then when we run it, we get a container, so that's the running version of it. Now what if we have installed all kind of things, what we have done just in the previous video, and now we would like to create an image, so when next time you're starting to use it, we already have all those things installed that we have earlier installed. So for example, HTOP or Python or whatever you'd install. So there are basically two ways to create a Docker image. And if we get to the slides now, just to see them. So one of the ways is that what we are going to show. This is the less common way, I guess, but it's right now it's just obviously comes from the previous videos. So and this is basically probably the way you might do it when you're in development mode. So you run a container, so you get an image, you run a container, install all kind of stuff on it, stop the container, sorry, and then from that stopped container you create an image so that you can reuse it. And the other way is to use a Docker file that we're going to explore later on in this course. But for now, we're going to take the container that we have, and we're going to create an image out of it. So as you might recall, let's switch to the terminal. So now we have a Docker, first of all, Docker ps-a, Docker ps-a shows us, maybe I can make it smaller. Yeah, so the Docker ps-a shows us that there is a container that like yesterday I was running. Okay, so you can see that while I'm taking the video, I took a day break. It's called Ubu. Okay, so far it's okay. We can also see if I run images, that we have that image that's called Ubuntu, that we pulled it, that we downloaded it, and we based our container on this image. So now if I get back to the slides, you can see that there is this command, say docker run -it name. Okay, so this is how we can install something. This is what we don't need to do anymore because we have already done it. So this is how you run the container based on this image and then install all kind of stuff and exit. So, but we are already at this point basically. So now we can create an image from the container. The generic way to do is writing docker container commit. Okay, that's the word, giving some kind of identification of the container that you have. It can be either, let me get back here, it can be either the name of the container or the container ID. Okay, so it can be the container identification and then the name of the image that we are just going to create. So that's what name we come up with. So here, for example, we can do this docker container commit ubu because that's the name of our container, and then some name of the container with some tag. You remember that even when we were using Ubuntu, we had the Ubuntu 20.04 tag. Now the same we are doing here. So now I'll just take this line and paste it. It's going to be easier. Okay. So this command took the container that is stopped now and converted into an image. So if I run now docker image, the container is still there, so don't worry about it. Now I have another image which is called my ubu. Okay, so we can see that the tag, you can see the tag, it was 1.00, doesn't matter. It has its own ID. When I created, it's slightly bigger than the original Ubuntu because it has both the list of the packages and some packages installed, so that's why it's slightly bigger. And now that we have a new image, we can actually run it. So we can say docker container run -rm, so it won't stay as an existing container, -it, and the name of my image now, the exact name, right? So this says the my ubu. Of course, you can use any word here and any tag. So it's just I'm making up here. And now we're back inside. And now what it's important that if you type in the history, So it remembers also all the history that all the commands that we executed when we were building the Docker. So therefore, that's might probably not the best way to create Docker images, but definitely it's a way that you can do it yourself. So it remembers all the commands. It also has the htop already installed because we have installed it. So everything is there exactly as in the container. Now I could take this image and distribute it, give it to other people in the company, or upload to Docker Hub if that's what I would, or some other place. And then people could start reusing that image, not the container, the image, and based on this image, they could run new stuff and create even more images. What I would like to show you here something else now is that Docker history is a command that shows all the layers that the Docker image has in it. So if I run Docker history on Ubuntu 20.04, you will see, sorry, okay, I tried to execute it inside the Docker container. Obviously, it doesn't work, so I have to exit the Docker container, okay, and here I can paste and run the command. So you can see that this is how it was built. This is the ID of the Ubuntu 20.04, and it's built on several lower layers. Now we get into layers later on, but what I wanted to show here is that if I now run the same thing with my Ubuntu 1.00, right? This is the version I have. Then you can see that this is built the same thing, but it has another layer. So this is the top, this is the layer that we installed stuff on it, and it was created from this layer. So that's how you can see that that is layered. So when I'm installing, if I distribute this, basically the users will already get the Ubuntu 20.04. They might not know its label, but it has its ID at least, and the image is there. So that's basically how you can create an image from a container. Here is just a recap, and actually something else here as well. So it's not just a recap. So Docker container commit, name of the container, name of the image. The container must exist. The image is just what you are using. And earlier in the previous example, I just used my Ubuntu and a name and a number, the tag. You could also put in a username here. So instead of just the name of the image in this format, and that's useful when you would like to actually upload it to the Docker Hub. So then you will put here your username that you already have in the Docker Hub, and that's how the Docker Hub will work. But for now, or as long as you're just playing around it with locally, it doesn't matter. You don't have to think about this username part. So that's it for now. In the next video, we are going to look at creating a Docker image using the Docker file. So instead of manually installing stuff in the Docker container and then using the commit command, instead of that, we are going to create a specification for our Docker image and a list of commands how we would like to build it. And that's how we are going to build it. For now, just remember, keep practicing, keep trying, playing around with this.